approach, which is a socialization proposal for the Internet of Things. Okay? Now, we all know that last time, na-define ko yung meaning po ng Internet of Things. Wherein, when I talk about Internet of Things, it refers to the online interconnected device that collect and exchange data. No? So this is a broad category of devices include sensor, cameras, and network routers and advanced machinery. And their integration into everyday life and work processes result in an ecosystem that can automate operation, improve decision making, and enhance user experience. So actually, the purpose of this Internet of Things is that mainly that is for automation. Okay. Now, doon sa abstract na nakuha ko pertaining to Internet of Things, so ito po yun. Okay. So bali based dun sa abstract na nakuha ko, so allow me to read the introduction, which is ito po yun. So it secures a private communication using the Internet of Things, pose several challenges for home system. In particular, data collected from IoT device comprise sensitive personal information, such as biomedical data, financial data, and location and activity data. Okay, so that is for the introduction. Now for each objective, okay, so recent research looks into the use of the blockchain in smart home system, protecting the privacy of the data in use. Such solution needs to address the issue of privacy using formal and mathematical model for data privacy due to vulnerability associated with a privacy preserving blockchain network. Okay. Anyway, ito nga pala yung yung sa IoT. So bali yung number of words is 259, and then based on sa types of abstract, so pwede ko po siyang classify as an informative abstract. Okay? Now for the second abstract, which is all about naman sa 5G, wherein last time na-mention ko rin about the different features na in-offer po ng 5G, like higher data rates, low latency, massive device connectivity, improved reliability, energy efficiency, enhanced security, okay, which is yan po yung mga in-offer po na features po ng 5G. Okay. Now, so ito po yung abstract na nakakuha ko pertaining to 5G. Okay. So based on sa given introduction, so fifth generation technology provides possibility for variety application, but it also comes with challenges influenced by distinct aspects such as the size of organization that use technology. Therefore, it is important to understand which architecture of 5G access network or run. So it is best given for a purpose. So this requires an evaluation platform for assessment. No? So this paper tackles this problem by presenting a novel multi-criteria decision-making or the MCDM solution based on the new integrated pass set. No? So yan po yung introduction. And then for each objective, so the proposed integrated approach, which is based on the type 2 neurosophic fuzzy environment, is developed to address the application challenges of a 5G RAN architecture evaluation, so as also to face the MCDM theoretical challenges or challenge represented by ambiguous and inconsistent among decision-making within the decision-making context of the presented case study. And then for this conclusion, so ano ko lang po doon sa dulo, so the outcome of this study can be used to assist future 5G RAN development according to business need and establish an assessment platform for 5G technology in different domain and application. And now the number of words in this particular abstract is 355 words, and it is also an informative abstract. Now, for the last journal, which is ito rin po yung trends and technology na na-mention ko rin last time sa inyo. So which is yung title naman po nitong abstract, which is a review of deep learning image captioning approaches. Now, ito naman po yung pinaka-main. Sorry. So ito po yung abstract, okay, wherein the content or the introduction of this abstract. So in today's information-driven world, so images have become prevalent and influential means of communication and artistic expression, while human effortlessly understand visual scene and describe them in a language. Replicating this ability in machine has been a significant hurdle. So image captioning is a burgeoning field at the intersection of a computer vision and a natural language, which is the NLP. No? The abstract aims to overcome this challenge by developing sophisticated algorithm and model that can intelligently interpret visual data and generate accurate, contextually relevant and human-like textual description for images. Now, this survey paper represents a systematic examination of deep learning, a process in image captioning, offering a detailed taxonomy for each method category. So its extensive covers wide use dataset and evaluation metric designed to assess image captioning model performance. So its conclusion, so the discussion emphasized challenges encountered in the field along with highlighting current state of the art technology. Now, based dito sa abstract na to, so it has 135 words, and since more on attracting the users, so that's why I classified it as an highlight abstract. And also, ito nga pala po yung references na pinagkunan ko po yan. Okay. So, thank you for listening. That's all.
Okay, any question? Thank you very much, Edwin, for your presentation. So what did you learn from this activity?
Actually, sir, malalaman natin talaga yung kahalagahan ng mga bagong technology in terms of dun sa pamumuhay ng tao talaga, no. So nagiging ano talaga siya, sir, talaga. Nagiging malaking factor in order para mas mapabuti po yung pamumuhay po natin. Which is yan po yung actor din sa isa dun sa mga nakikita ko po dito sa sa mga abstract na to. At the same time, pati yung naging trends and technologies po.
Okay, thank you very much. So any question or clarifications on the presentation made? Kung wala na, palakpakan natin si Edwin, Engineer Edwin Ross, for his presentation. Okay, who's next?
Ako po, Doc. Share ko lang po. Let me share the presentation.
Sige, okay.
Ito po. Okay na po. Nakikita niyo po?
Yeah, you may proceed.
Okay. ito po yung mga topics for my abstract critiquing report. Yung topic kasi interesting sa akin as civil engineer. Itong unang-una itong number 1 natin is the design live load for the office. Yung category of office gathering spaces. Number 2 is the dynamic model identification of the long span suspension bridge using measured acceleration data. And the number 3 is flexural capacity of voltage U-shape steel concrete composite beam under monotonic and cyclic loading. These 3 topics is interesting to me because unang-una itong design live load is laging gamit na gamit itong design live load. Especially wala pa akong naki-encounter kasi itong sinasabi niyang category na office gathering spaces. Usually kasi building pag live load kasi nasa mga 2.9 kPa lang yan So may mga study siyang sinasabi na parang i-modify niya or i-add niya, i-recommend niya itong additional live load for office gathering spaces. And itong number 2 na to is ito yung kumbaga sinasabi niya na may mga long span bridges suspension. So pag may mga during mga event like typhoon, magkakaroon siya ng mga data to study ano ba yung effect ng mga typhoon or yung mga wind nung tumama doon sa bridges na yon. So magkakaroon siya ng dynamic model identification. Graphically to yung report na to. Tapos may mga may mga graph siya. Yes. The number 3 is the flexural capacity niya. Ito, kino-consider niya as replacement for the I-beam. Usually kasi, kapag mga building like structural building, steel structure, we use I-beam. Pero dito kasi sa study niya, gusto niyang i-consider yung voltage U-shape steel composite beam na pinapatunayan naman ng study niya na yung mga itong dalawang study which is monotonic and the cyclic loading, mga testing yan testing ang tawag diyan. So proceed ako ron sa first topic which is the design live load for office category spaces. So yung introduction of this journal, sinabi niya rito na mula 1800 nagkaroon ng mga live load survey at pagsusuri na sinagawa lalo na sa mga area dependent sa mga building offices. So, dito sa introduction niya, nagkaroon siya ng reference way back 1800. Baga sinasabi niya na kaagad na may mga load, meron na tayong live load survey, particular sa mga area dependent. So, positively, sinasabi niya na meron ng mga live load survey analysis. Then the objective ng journal na to is while some occupancies have received careful examination, there has been no systematic review and consideration of liability-based scenarios for office gathering space live loads. The result of the research reported here indicates a more consistent, reliable, and economic design load for office gathering space in building. The methodology of this journal is this result provide the theoretical and practical basis for the design live load for gathering spaces within offices, a step toward possible enactment in the current standard and subsequently by adoption in the International Building Code and the Material Standard. Result or the major finding of this journal, sabi niya rito kasunod ng mga pagsusuri ng historical load surveys and theoretical models, this research ay nagpapakita ng mga model and observation of crowding. So, na nagsisilbing batayan para sa ibang diskarte para sa mga nasabing lugar. Kabilang yung isang Delphi, which is yung Delphi is the leading design company sa US. Then, the conclusion of this journal is nire-recommend niya yung isang bagong kategorya ng paggamit ng live load para sa office gathering spaces. Ito nga, base nga kanina sa nabanggit ko, itong journal na to, Design Live Loads, is kung mapapansin niyo yung topic niya, very simple and simple and precise. Dito pa lang sa title niya, para sa akin, maikli siya, precise and direct to the point. Gusto niya kaagad sabihin yung sa title niya pa lang kung ano yung magiging outcome ng conclusion niya ng research niya, which is gamitin yung paggamit ng mga new live load for the category of office gathering space. Ayun, pagdating sa title, very short, precise, and direct to the point yung niya. Yung dito pa lang malalaman na natin kung anong gusto niyang sabihin. And then, so this abstracts for me is informative siya. Composed of 162 words. Informative kasi for me, it's complete and full of data. Pati, hindi ko pa binabasa yung buong article or journal, pero for me, tingin ko, siya, informative siya. For me, as civil engineer, gamit na gamit siya. So, my next topic is the dynamic model identification of a long span suspension bridge using measured acceleration data during a storm. Itong abstract na to, for is model siya. Itong naman nito is ganito siya. Meron tayong isang long span bridge. May tumamang malakas na hangin siya. Tapos i-monitor, may mga gadget or may mga ito nga, may dynamic model identification nga siya na i-study niya ano ba naging effect ng malaking bagyo na yon sa structure. So, mamamonitor ngayon yung mga damages. Tapos malalaman kaagad ng model na safe pa ba siya or unsafe na siya. This model kasi, para lang sa kaalaman po, ginawa siya para sa mga future na itatayo mga bridges. Sige, simulan natin sa introduction na. This paper presents a dynamic model identification of the Pati Sultan Mimit. Itong Pati Sultan kasi na to, Doc, ito yung data or graph ng displacement of bridge versus span ng bridge. So, dito sa introduction niya, this paper presents a dynamic model identification of Pati Sultan Mimit bridge utilizing structural health monitoring data recorded during a recent extreme wind effect event, which is 130 km per hour that occurred on November 29 to 30, 2021 to provide a preliminary report for future post-hazard health assessment for similar long span suspension bridges. Kung mapapansin nyo, Doc, dito pa lang, Doc, sa introduction niya, halos complete na yung detail niya. Sinasabi niya sa introduction niya, meron na siyang data, may event na siya. Meron na rin siyang may hinampas na rin kaagad yung bridge ng 130 km per hour. May date pa siya. Tapos meron pa siyang recommendation din na this preliminary report for future post-hazard health assessment of the similar long span suspension bridge. Ibig sabihin, ito na yung magiging effect ng mga susunod na bridge na similar bridge. Meron na siyang kaagad report. So the objective of the aim of this purpose research is first, for different operation model analysis, techniques are performed to identify the bridges, model parameters, frequently damping ratios, and model shapes. The analysis reports are compared with each estimator, and those are experimental investigation published in the literature to verify bridge model parameters. The methodology is, pangalawa, boss, ay, Doc, ang natural frequency history at mga yung nagpapahiwatig ng pinsala ay tinutukoy gamit yung mga parameter ng model estimate. Standard deviation na nakukuha mula sa stochastic subspace yan identification with extended unweighted principal component. The result is, ang resulta ng mga model damage indicator ay nagpapakita ng isang malusog na structure pagkatapos ng matinding kaganapan ng hangin. Sinusuportahan din ng mga visual inspection. Although may mga model identification, tingnan pa rin i-site inspection pa rin. Kung mapapansin nyo, may mga bridges tayo rito sa Philippines. Pag may dumaan na hangin, after nun or bagyo, after nun, in-inspect agad kung may mga physical damages. And then, sa conclusion niya, pinaniniwalaan niya yung makabuluhang natuklasan na itong model na to, magbibigay ng napakahalagang kaalaman sa mga stakeholders. So, mapiprevent na. So, hindi na madadalo sa susunod na gagawin mga bridges. So, this whole abstract para sa akin, Doc, is complete and informative with 155 words. Yung title niya naman ay, although mahaba siya, pero sinasabi niya na kung ano yung gagawin niya, including yung methods of the certain event. Ito yung ano niya. So, ito naman yung mga reports niya. So, for the number 3 topic, lecturer capacity of U-bolt, voltage U-shape, steel concrete, composite beam under monotonic and cycling loading. Itong monotonic and cycling loading is testing kung anong mangyayari dun sa steel structure. So, ang introduction niya is, ang mga concrete field U-shape niya is sinasabi niya rito, ang mga concrete steel U-shape beam niya ay maaaring maging mga alternatibo sa conventional composite beam with I-section steel. Sa pag-aaral na ito, ay minumungkahi ang isang novel U-shape composite beam na may bolt assembly na dalawang Z-shape na bakal sa ilalim ng plate. Yung objective nito ay nakatuon sa negative and flexural behavior of the ng voltage U-shape composite beam. Dalawang eksperimento yung ginawa niya, ito which is ito nga monotonic tsaka cycling loading. Yung methodology niya is the positive and the negative bending ng dalawang beam to column connection tsaka yung design of specimen. The design of the specimen ay isinaalang-alang niya para sa parehong mga headed stud anchor sa slab at saka sa bolt sa ilalim ng section niya. Minumungkahi niya na bolt assembly ay inaasahan magbibigay ng mga fully and partially composite action for the positive and negative moment respectively. Pagdating sa result niya, ang resulta ng test ay nagpapakita ng mga flexural mechanism of voltage U-shape composite beam ay karaniwang nangyayari dun sa mga local backlim sa ilalim ng plate. May mga local backlim dun sa mga column niya. At sa ilalim ng flanges ng mga shape steel. Yung positive and negative flexural of the proposed composite beam ay nasusuri batay sa AIC, American Standard Design Practice, na tumutugon sa degree of composite action at the plate local buckling. Yung structural performance naman niya of the test specimen ay higit pang nasuri with respect to the flexural stiffness of the deflection. And the conclusion of this journal is, sa batayan ng mga result ng test, ang design consideration para sa voltage U-shape composite beam ay nire-recommenda niya. Para sa akin, this abstract is informative with 211 words. Thank you. Ito yung reference ko po. Boss? Ay, nagre-report ako pa, sorry. Kaklas. Okay na po.
Thank you. Yung pangalawang ano yun, naka-monitor siya? Naka-remote monitoring ba yun?
Yung Doc?
Yung modal?
Opo, Doc. Meron siya parang software, Doc, na na babasahin niya Doc yung structural integrity ng building.
So nakalagay doon during storm kasi ang ano niya. So ibig sabihin nagkakaroon ng movement yan, di ba?
Opo, yes po Doc. Any structure Doc pag may mga event like storm tsaka wind,
Storm,
halos
so
malakas.
yung mga
Opo.
condominiums, di ba? Nagsusway.
Nagsisway. Yes po Doc. Opo.
Yeah.
Opo.
Okay, sige. May tanong ba? Mayroon kayong clarification on the paper that was, So these papers were taken from which journal?
Puro structural journal siya Doc eh. Ito, mga reference ko.
SCOPUS ba?
Opo, SCOPUS po. SCOPUS po Doc.
Okay,
Journal of
sige.
Structural Engineering nga po.
Sige. Okay, thank you Richard for your presentation. Let's give Richard a virtual applause for his presentation. Thank you. Sige. Yung next na presentation, who's next?
Ako po, Doc. Ako po.
Sige.
Kita na po.
Yes, okay.
Sige. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Rafi Apostol, MSEE student. So, these are the topics that I prepare. So, yung mga topic na po ito is, nag-base lang po ako dun sa last na topic ko, which is Smart Grid at Internet of Things. So, the first topic is Smart Plug 2.0, a solid-state smart plug device preventing fire and shock hazard. Next is IntelliPlugs, IoT-based smart plug for energy monitoring and control through Wi-Fi and GSM. Next is IoT-based smart home automation using Node MCU, a smart multi-plug with overload and over temperature protection. So dito, nag-focus na lang po ako sa smart plug po kasi gusto ko pong mag-dig pa about sa smart plug at saka sa smart grid po. So, the first topic, Smart Plug 2.0, a solid-state smart plug devices prevent shock hazard. For the abstract introduction, electrical faults cause fire or shock hazard in homes and offices. Flexible power cords are particularly susceptible to metal or insulation degradation that may lead to a variety of electrical faults. For the objectives, this article introduces a new Smart Plug 2.0 device which offer all-in-one protection against short circuit. Monitored function of conventional devices. It offers microsecond scale time solution to detect and respond to a fault condition and significantly reduces the electrothermal stress on the household electrical wires and loads. Methodology. A new fault detection method is developed using machine learning models based on the load current using the DI over DT events. Comparing to other solid state circuit for the results or major findings, comparing to other solid state circuit breaker designs which typically respond to overcurrent conditions only. Smart Plug 2.0 integrates additional protective function into a same hardware structure with minimal cost. Conclusion, a 120 volts, 10 ampere solid plug 2.0 prototype is using power MOSFET is designed and tested. It has experimentally demonstrated the comprehensive protection features against all types of electrical faults. So, ito is nahanap ko sa IEEE and nahanap ko din po yung topic na ito sa SCOPUS Index. So, meron po siyang 170 words and I think this abstract is informative abstract. Next is Internet of Things based smart plug for energy monitoring and control. And for the introduction, to enable smart grid, there is a need to adapt IT-based technologies to allow many different components of grid. In connection to this, the adaptation of smart plug in the distribution side of the power system is starting to gain popularity. For the objectives, smart plugs are electrical devices that allows an ordinary appliances to be connected to the internet. It also allows people to monitor their energy usage and in turn affect the way they utilize the energy. For the methodology, in recent literature, there are proposed low-cost smart plugs that are composed of simple sensor to derive electrical parameters like voltage, current, power, and frequency. However, these smart plugs are not equipped with attractive and easy-to-use graphical user interface for their software. Moreover, some of the designs of the smart plugs only relies to Wi-Fi for monitoring and control. For the result or major findings, in order to address some of these concerns, this paper proposed a smart plug named IntelliPlugs that adapts the current state-of-the-art technology to control and monitor the electric device. For the conclusion, based on the results, IntelliPlugs achieved the objective of being an innovative and safe smart plug, contributing to the fast transition of power system into the smart grid. So I consider this journal topic or journal informative abstract and it has 206 words. So yung title din niya is straightforward. Next is IoT-based smart home automation using Node MCU. A smart multi-plug with overload and over temperature protection. So yung abstract na ito is consider ko siya na descriptive kasi yung nilalaman lang niya is objective. In this modern era, internet connectivity is widespread and easily affordable. Therefore, it has become an essential part of everyday life. The Internet of Things is a network where devices, appliances, and other items, along with the sensors and software, are connected to the network via internet. This paper presents a user-friendly and straightforward approach for controlling and monitoring home appliances using the IoT-based smart multiplug. For the methodology, this smart multiplug can be assessed, monitored, and controlled through a smartphone using Wi-Fi via smartphone blink framework. For the scope, for this, it does not require any extra coding respective to the internet connection used, making this multi-plug convenient and user-friendly. Moreover, it protects the appliances and the plugs from being damaged against overload, over temperature. Furthermore, it offers voice command control through Google Assistant and timer setup for each plug, saving electricity, human energy, and effort. So, yung title nito is straightforward din and meron siyang 143 words. So this is the references of the presentation. That's all po. Hello po.
Okay, any question? Palakpakan natin si Rafi kung ano.
Sir, question po, si
Sige,
Engineer
okay.
Inoue.
Okay, you may
Yung
proceed.
sa last, ano po, sir, yung nag-present, yung last slide.
Sige po, sir. Wait lang. Ito po, sir.
Yung sa last, yeah, po, pwede pong pakinggan. Naka-ano pa na yan, naka full, ano na ba yan? Yan na po yung
Slideshow mo.
pinakamalaki. Okay na po yan? Pwede
Slideshow
na,
mo.
pwede yung slideshow or F5 pa yan.
Kita na po, sir.
Ay, yan, okay na po. Bali yung last po, ano bali yung
Wait lang, sir.
scope ba yun po?
Wait lang, sir. May scope. Nakita ko yun dun sa last na lesson natin. Is
Ang-
yung sa na-present po ni isang
Opo.
so
Parang
kaya
hindi
scope
po.
na
Okay. Parang hindi yata nagaan.
po yun. Wait lang, sir. Wala, may na po kasi yung internet.
Okay.
Ito po.
Ang ano ko lang, ang first na comment ko, critic ko, is yung, I think the first few parts of the abstract is part of the background. Hindi mo yata nabanggit kasi
Yes, sir.
you started with the objective. I think the objective starts with the yung sa mga lower part na. Ito yung, this paper presents a
Render.
user-friendly, straightforward
Yes, sir.
approach for controlling. Yung una, I think kasama yung sa background. Di ba yung ating structure na ba, yung background, objective, methodology, saka
Yes, sir.
findings.
Yes, sir.
I think pwedeng ilagay natin na na background yon or this introduction. Introduction
Sige
tsaka
po.
background.
Pwede
And then,
naman din po, sir.
and then yung objective niya, yung objective ng paper is ito nga, to present a user-friendly, ganyan-ganyan, no? And then yung last part is scope. How about po yung yung findings? Meron ba tayong findings? Findings and general findings and results, ganun.
Parang ito na din yung cancer. Parang ginaya ko na lang din
I think may
po yung
findings dito.
sa
Ito yung
presentation or
ito po yung it protects the
Para-
appliances and the plugs.
yung moreover, sir?
Yung after ng moreover, no, it does not require any extra coding. I think kasama yun sa result nung in-implement yon, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Hindi na
Pwede
kailangan ng extra coding, tapos yung protects the appliances and the plugs from being damaged, kanyan. More command control through Google
Yes, sir.
Assistant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yun lang yung comment ko. And then yung words po, anong masabi nyo dun sa kasi normally ang number of words yata ay 200 to 250. Some are citing na 400 to 500. Si Doc Doc Bakay. Ano po ba yung ideal natin? Kasi sabi po sa ibang literature 200 to 250 words, mga ganun. So, ano ba yung
Ideally,
ano po
200
ba
to
yung masasabi
250.
natin if less than that?
It depends. It depends pa rin dun sa elements of a good abstract. Because may mga less than 200 words pero na-cover naman niya yung gusto niya
Basta na-cover
sabihin.
niya lahat po.
Oo, pwede naman yun. Basta,
Pwede naman po.
pwede naman yun. Basta ang maximum, depende yan sa journal. Kasi sa journal, sinasabi niya dun sa instruction to authors na ang maximum or 200 words. So, basta ano lang doon, within that allowable.
Parang may plus minus lang siguro po doon, no?
May
Yes,
ah,
Sige po, salamat
Kaya
po.
dun-
Yun lang po yung
Kaya dun sa descriptive, kapag less than 100 words, kasi nga, parang ano masasabi mo sa 100 words? Kung ano,
masyadong
diba, parang
makakonti.
mga konti. Oh. So, parang very straightforward. So, pwede siyang maging descriptive. And dito sa case na to, I think tama yung observation. There are some parts na pwedeng no, maging output ng ano. So you can check carefully the paper or the abstract of the paper para ma-identify nyo kung ano yung introduction, ano yung objective, ano yung methodology, ano yung diniscuss na salient findings of the study at naging conclusion. Okay? Sige.
Okay, thank you po.
thank you, sir,
Okay, any other comments or suggestions? Okay, kung wala na, maraming salamat, Rafi. Sa yung presentation, palakpakan ulit natin si Rafi.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
can we move
Thank you po,
on to the
classmates.
next presentation?
Ay po, ako na po mag-next.
Sige.
Good afternoon. Naka-share screen na po ako.
Yes.
Opo.
So, I'll start na po. For this activity, I'll be presenting Kaya po na-mute ata. So, for this activity, I'll be presenting 3 journals from International Journal of Impact Engineering, Civil Engineering Journal, Iran, Earthquake Engineering and Structural Dynamics. So, the International Journal of Impact Engineering is indexed in UGC, CARE, SCOPUS, Web of Science. I particularly chosen the study entitled Improve Analysis for Impact Response Prediction of Reinforced Concrete Structures, Considering Stress Wave Propagation and Time-Dependent Shape Function. So, ito yung abstract niya, and kung i-breakdown natin into its components, the introduction will be in the design of reinforced concrete RC structures subjected to impulsive loading, usually an equivalent single degree of freedom SDOF system is derived based on a constant deflection shape assumption considering to static loading condition. It is commonly known that this idealized assumption may not necessarily lead to accurate prediction of structural responses. Its aim is this paper presents an improved analytical approach to predict the dynamic response of RC beams with consideration of stress wave propagation effect in the beam in the initial stage upon impact load application and time-dependent shape function for SDOF analysis. The methodology is wait lang po Wait lang po, iba ko lang po. So for the methodology, the response of structural component is divided into two phases. Local response phase, which is calculated using governing equation of stress wave propagation, and the global response phase, analyzed using equivalent SDOF systems with consideration of time-dependent deformation shapes. Laboratory drop weight impact tests are performed on RC beams, which are used to validate the developed method. So yung results and conclusion niya, it seems na pinaghalo na niya in one sentence, and that is further validation is carried out against existing testing results by other researchers, demonstrating, ito yung pinaka-conclusion niya, demonstrating the proposed approach offers more accurate predictions of RC beam responses under impact loading compared to the conventional SDOF system. So the abstract po is composed of 181 words, though this seems to be shorter than the usual critical type of abstract. I think this is a critical since may point of comparison siya, and the judgment of the study was clearly stated that the developed method is more accurate than the conventional. So next po. So the Civil Engineering Journal Iran is indexed in UGC Care and Scopus. The abstract that I will present will be coming from the structural strengthening of insufficiently designed reinforced concrete T-beams using CFRP composites. So, ito po yung abstract niya, and this abstract seems to be intriguing kasi wala siyang intro. Dumiretso siya sa aim, and that is this study aims to compare the response of reinforced concrete RC T-beams strengthened with carbon fiber reinforced polymer composite with that of non-strengthened control beams when subjected to monolithic two-point loading until failure for flexural once and shear again. So methodology, the experimental program tested 8 RCT beams, which include 2 reference beams without strengthening and 6 strengthened beams. The 8 beams were divided into two main groups according to the strengthening, flexural and shear. Experimental analysis was performed to study the effect of the CFRP laminate within the flexural group and the spacing of CFRP U-ROP sheets in the shear group on the ultimate load capacity, load strain relationship, and the load deflection relationship. So the result shows that increasing the width of the CFRP laminate and the flexural group improves the ultimate strength to approximately 9.5%, 35%, 41% for beams with CFRP laminate widths of 50, 100, and 150 millimeters respectively, compared with the reference non-strengthened beams. The stiffness of the beams increases in direct proportion to the width of the CFRP laminate. In the meantime, decreasing the spacing of CFRP laminate in the shear group increases the ultimate strength of approximately 13.2, 17.7, and 23.5 for beams with CFRP Europe sheet spacing of 166, 125, and 100 mm respectively, compared with the reference non-strengthening beam. So, conclusion, therefore, the spacing of CFRP sheet is inversely proportional to the stiffness of the beam. So the abstract is composes of 223 words, and for me po, this is a kind of highlight abstract since from the very start in state niya na what the study is aiming for, and it seems to be na ina-attract na niya yung reader to read the whole journal. So next po, from Earthquake Engineering and Structural Dynamics, which is indexed in the UGC Care and Scopus. So I present to you the abstract from the experimental evaluation of the role of slenderness in seismic behavior of bridges with rockable footing. So ito po yung yung ano niya, abstract. And the introduction will be: observations in major earthquakes have shown that rockable structures suffered less to no damage during rocking that is partial and temporary footing separation. The influx of seismic energy is interrupted and thus the impact of the base excitation is reduced. Rocking causes the structure to deform more rigid-like. Consequently, the structure experiences less deformation along the height and thus a lower damage potential. Although many researchers have studied the influence of rockable footings, most of these are either analytical or numerical, and only a very few structures have built with rockable footings worldwide. For example, the chimney at Christchurch Airport and the South Rangitikei Viaduct in New Zealand. Despite these studies, a thorough and understanding is not yet available, especially with respect to experimental validation. So the objective of this work is the first to investigate the rocking behavior of bridge with different slenderness using large-scale shake table experiment. The methodology to limit the number of influence factors, stiffness, footing support, and the same fixed base fundamental frequency of the bridge were assumed. The result shows that the girder displacement of the footing rotation of the tall bridge do not always move in phase, which cannot be observed in the short bridge. As a conclusion, the results demonstrate that the important role of the slenderness and overall response of the rockable bridges, this behavior cannot be observed in the bridges with a commonly assumed fixed base since the slenderness effect cannot be activated. So this abstract po is composed of 235 words, and this is informative since yung main argument is nailatag naman, it is well stated, and the researchers even describe the gap or the background, bakit sila nag-conduct ng studies. So, yun lang po. These are my references. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. Palakpakan natin si Miss Eliza. Any question or any comments? May tanong ba? So doon sa mga papers na binasa mo, alin doon ang sa tingin mo ay pwede mong magamit sa iyong proposed research?
Doc, yung last one po. Yung kasi po I'm interested in the behavior of a structure when it comes to lateral movement. So the last research po, they tackle yung temporary separation ng footing and the main structure. So sa buildings meron naman pong gano'n na, which is the base isolation. So I'm not sure if we have that technology already here in the Philippines when it comes to bridges.
Okay. Sige. So try to look for it kung meron na nga ba o wala pa. Okay, other
Yes po, Doc.
questions? Okay, kung wala na, then let's move on to the next presentation.
Sir, good afternoon. Ako yung next na mag-present.
Sige, okay.
Share ko lang.
Sige, Charles.
Sige po. Share ko lang, sir. Kita na po. Hello?
Wala pa, loading pa. Wala pa.
Ayan po.
Okay, sige.
Meron na po. Sige, good afternoon po sa lahat. No? So I'm Charles Espino pala, presenting abstract critiquing for 3 Scopus Index Journal na nakuha ko sa Applied Energy. So ito yung tatlo kong nakuha sa abstract critiquing. Experimental research and energy saving analysis of an integrated data center cooling and waste heat recovery system. Yung pangalawa, predicting household energy consumption in an aging society. And then yung last, thermal management with fast temperature convergence based on optimized fuzzy PID algorithm for electric vehicle battery. So yung first is yung experimental research and energy saving analysis of an integrated data center cooling and waste recovery system. Yung introduction niya is to better make use of the waste heat in distributed data centers, a new design of integrated waste heat recovery system that can meet different needs including heating for users and data center cooling is introduced. Yung sa part naman ng objective niya and yung aim, so meron siyang 4 na tinutukoy rito na mode, which is yung waste heat recovery mode, natural cooling mode, and composition cooling mode, and yung refrigeration mode niya. So based yung pagpapalit niya sa ambient temperature ng isang lugar. So this system can switch amongst different operation modes including waste heat recovery mode, natural cooling mode, composite cooling mode, and refrigeration mode based on the ambient temperature. The integrated waste heat recovery system is experimented in the enthalpy different laboratory, and experimental results show well consistency compared with the modeling results. So yung methodology naman niya dito, meron siyang dalawang tinutukoy which is yung PUE and ERE. So yung power usage effectiveness and energy reuse effectiveness. So the operation strategies to switch among different modes are determined based on the experimental and modeling results. The paper introduced PUE, power usage effectiveness, and ERE, energy reuse effectiveness, to comprehensively evaluate the cooling and energy reutilization effectiveness of the system. So yung major results and findings nila is yung energy effectiveness niya and environmental economic effect. And yung system niya is nakapag-save ng 152.7 megawatt hour electricity and 56.4 tons of standard coal and 244.7 tons of carbon dioxide emission in Beijing annually. So according to the evaluation result, the integrated waste heat recovery system has well-performed energy effectiveness, environmental and economic effect. The ERE values of using the integrated waste heat recovery system in Chinese typical climates includes in Harbin, Beijing, Xi'an, Shanghai, and Guangzhou are 0.87 to 1.29 respectively. And using this system, at 96 kilowatts distributed data center is instead of CRAC, system can save 152.7 megawatt hour electricity, 56.4 tons of standard coal, and 244.7 tons of carbon dioxide emission in Beijing annually. So yung conclusion niya is the payback periods of this new system in different climate regions in China are all within 3 years. So informative abstract siya and 236 in words siya. So yung next.
Wala pong sound.
Mute pa.
Ayan po, meron po. Hello?
Sige, let me start.
Ay, sorry, sige. Ito po yung pangalawa, predicting household energy consumption in an aging society. So, yung introduction niya is medyo mahaba lang ng konti. So, social aging will significantly affect energy consumption in the residential sector, with a critical influence on the demand side of the energy sector, especially for megacities. So, despite previous studies on the total change in energy demand due to aging, limited research has focused on high frequency effects. So, yung ano niya dito, yung objective or aim is meron silang machine learning model na kung paano maka-affect sa social aging dun sa household, sa energy consumption. So, using a machine learning model, this study examine how social aging affect household early consumption patterns, covering both the change in total consumption and the early distribution. So, yung methodology niya, we first unsupervised cluster household high-frequency consumption patterns in Shanghai from 2016 to 2018 in total groups, and then train the finite mixture model to analyze the correlation between cluster and household features. And then we further use the well-tuned model based on the out-of-sample result to simulate the consumption patterns under the scenarios of social aging and income growth. So yung major findings niya is the simulation result demonstrate that in addition to increasing overall energy consumption, an aging society will also change the early consumption pattern. And yung conclusion niya is this leads to a larger gap between peak and non-peak periods. And this is informative abstracts, tingin ko, and composed of 168 number of words. So yung last po is yung thermal management with fast temperature convergence based on optimized fuzzy PID algorithm for electric vehicle battery. So medyo maiksi lang siya kaya medyo napagsama ko yung ano po niya, yung yung introduction and objective. So in this study, we propose an optimized fuzzy proportional integral differential, in shorts is fuzzy PID, algorithm used in a rapid temperature control system for automotive batteries. So yung methodology niya rito is meron siyang tinutukoy na intelligent thermal management. So based on the proposed algorithm, an intelligent thermal management system with temperature feedback mechanism is built by switchable thermoelectric TE device in working mode, simultaneously offering both heating and cooling capabilities. Assisted by liquid cooling optimization, the battery pack temperature is rapidly converged by regulation of TE device. So yung major findings niya rito, no, mapapansin natin na pinababa yung thermal ng battery from 63.5 degrees Celsius, bumaba siya into 25 degrees Celsius for just 280 seconds. So yun yung ano niya, results and my major findings. Experimental results demonstrate that the temperature of a thermal runaway battery can be lowered from 63.5 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius in just 280 seconds. While the temperature of frozen battery pack can be raised from -10 to 25 degrees within 185 seconds. Compared to multi-channel liquid cooling method, our temperature control time is reduced by approximately 76%. And yung conclusion niya is, the innovative structure and optimized temperature control algorithm can obviously enhance the efficiency of the battery temperature control system in a new energy electric vehicle field. So, informative abstract pa rin, composed of 151 number of words.
Okay, thank you, Charles, for your presentation. Ganun ba talaga yan? Kapag nag-iedad yung aging yung society, increasing, decreasing ang energy? Charles?
Ay, sorry sir. Yes sir, meron siyang study na pinapakita doon na kapag tumatagal yung aging niya. So kasi medyo nung nabasa ko din yung article, medyo siyempre yung mga devices natin nagkakaroon din ng loss yun eh. So medyo nagkakaroon talaga ng konting loss kapag medyo tumatanggal yung mga motor natin, yung mga electric. So nagkakaroon talaga siya ng kapag nagkakaroon ng aging, so nagkakaroon din siya ng loss sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you. Questions? Okay, kung wala na, then let's move on to the next presentation.
Ako pa yung next, sir. Dinig po ba yung audio ko po, sir?
Yes, yes.
Let me present my screen po. Visible na po ba yung screen ko, sir?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Doc. I will be presenting the three chosen journal abstracts po, as part of the abstract critiquing. So here are the three, sorry. Here are the three abstract journal articles na napili ko po. And these are securing medical information transmission between IoT devices, an innovative hybrid encryption scheme based on quantum walk, DNA encoding, and chaos. Then the other one is towards an automatic deployment model of IoT services in fog computing using an adaptive differential evolution algorithm. And lastly, an activity-based approach for the early identification and resolution of problems in the development of IoT systems in the academic projects. So as you can observe here, it talks more about the IoT po, and discuss na rin po kanina of what IoT is. So I'm going to proceed na po with the abstract critiquing po for the first journal. So the first abstract here is the title is Securing Medical Information Transmission Between IoT Devices, an innovative hybrid encryption scheme based on quantum walk, DNA encoding, and chaos. So the introduction here is highlighted as color yellow-green. The healthcare industry has undergone a transformation due to the widespread use of advanced communication technologies and wireless sensor networks, such as the Internet of Medical Things, or IOMT, Health Information Exchange Technology, Internet of Healthcare Things, or IOHT, and Health IoT, or HIoT. So these technologies have led to an increase in the transmission of medical data, particularly medical imaging data, over various wireless communication channels. However, transmitting high-quality color medical images over insecure internet channels like the internet and communication networks like 5G presents significant security risks that could threaten patients' data privacy. Furthermore, this process can also burden the limited bandwidth of the communication channel, leading to the delayed data transmission. So as you can see here po sa introductions, hindi lang po applied yung IoT sa engineering field, but it can also applied in the medical field po. And dito sa introduction, makikita po natin na they are trying to solve here po yung pag-transmit po ng mga images po over the insecure internet channels. And for the objective, to address security concerns in healthcare data, researchers have focused a lot of attention on medical image encryption as a means of protecting patient data. So this paper presents a color image encryption scheme that integrates multiple encryption techniques, including alternate quantum random walks, controlled Rubik's Cube transformations, and the integration of the elliptic curve crypto system with Hill cipher, or ECCHC. The proposed scheme divides various plain text images by creating a regular cube by layering planes of a fixed size. Each plane is rotated in an anti-clockwise direction, followed by row, column, and phase swapping, and then DNA encoding is performed. The image cube encoded with DNA is combined with a chaotic cube through DNA addition, and a couple of random DNA sequences are chosen for DNA mutation. After undergoing DNA mutation, the encoded cube is then decoded using the DNA. So that was their methodology for in this study. And then the results and findings is that the proposed method has the theoretical capability of encrypting 2D images of unlimited size and number by utilizing an infinitely large cube. Then the proposed image encryption scheme has been rigorously tested through various experimental simulations and cyber attack analysis, which in the conclusion shows that the efficiency and reliability of the proposed encryption scheme. So dito po, bali, sinusolve po dito yung pag-transmit po ng images. So, if we're going to transmit yung HD images po, it will really require high bandwidth. So, para po ma-solve po yun, so they are using this this scheme using quantum walk DNA encoding and chaos. And for us to know, guys, encryption is actually a process of converting information data into a code or ciphertext to protect it from unauthorized access or tampering. And yung pinaka-primary purpose po ng encryption is to ensure the confidentiality, the integrity, and sometimes the authenticity of data. And with this abstract po, the total number of 4Gs is 330, and I consider this one as an informative because it shows here the introduction, objective, methodology, results, and findings, and with the conclusion. And for the second abstract, so we have towards an automatic deployment model of IoT services in fog computing using an adaptive differential evolution algorithm. So the introduction here is that nowadays fog computing has joined cloud computing as an emerging computing paradigm to provide resources at the edge of the network. As centralized clouds face challenges such as delay to process the unprecedented volume of data generated by the IoT devices, fog computing ensures the processing of real-time IoT applications at the edge of the network with low delay as there is no need to transfer the entire data to a remote cloud. So bali dito po sa study na to is they are trying to solve po yung delay po ng pag-process po ng data since nowadays marami na pong nakakonect sa internet po yung mga things that surrounds us. So talagang isa din ito sa challenges po yung mapadali po yung speed of processing. And then the objective here is, however, the main challenge is to deploy IoT services as components of IoT applications on fog nodes. So fog nodes are heterogeneous, distributed, and resource constrained, and this motivated us to solve the IoT fog service placement or FSP problem as a multi-objective optimization problem with evolutionary approaches. So their methodology, they develop an adaptive differential evolution or ADE algorithm to solve FSP that originates from the MAPEK or monitor, analyze, plan, execute over a shared knowledge autonomous model. And ADE considers a reproduction policy based on differential evolution current to best, whose parameters are adjusted adaptively. The proposed method, which is the ADE-FSP, transformed the multi-objective problem into a single objective optimization problem with a perspective of minimizing deadline violation, resource loss, and service cost, as well as maximizing resource usage. Meanwhile, ADE-FSP ensures the automatic and efficient deployment of IoT services in the fog environment by considering the priority of services and the distribution of resource consumption. And as the results are findings, they were able to analyze the proposed ADE-FSP from different perspectives on a simulated fog environment. Experimental results shows that compared to state-of-the-art algorithms, ADE-FSP significantly improves delay up to 5.6 and resource usage up to 13.2%. So, yung fog computing po actually is parang bagong cloud computing po na kung saan siya po ay nagpapabilis po ng processing nga po ng data, and it aims to address some of the limitations and challenges with traditional cloud computing by bringing computation, storage, and networking resources closer to the data source. And this concept was introduced to address the growing demands of the Internet of Things, real-time applications, and the need for low latency processing. So this abstract po is composed of 246 words, and I consider this as a critical abstract po kasi kino-compare niya po dito yung algorithm na ginagamit compared dun sa iba, or this one is a fog computing, and kino-compare po siya dun sa mga traditional computing po na medyo nakitaan po nila na medyo may kabagalan nga po ng pag-process ng data. So the conclusion of the research is not explicitly stated in the abstract, but it can be inferred that the ADA-FSP, based on the given abstract here, algorithm is effective in addressing the challenges of deploying IoT services and fog nodes, as it significantly improves delay and resource usage. And for the last abstract po, an activity-based approach for the early identification and resolution of problems in the development of IoT systems in academic projects. So this is the introduction. The development of Internet of Things, or IoT systems in university courses, encourages students to use the multiple skills. Hence, the importance of applying teaching method like project-based learning, or PBL, in the development of these kinds of systems for integrating hardware and software components while facing numerous real-life problems. And then the objective, this study presents an activity-based approach for the early identification and resolution of problems in a checklist format to be used by students for preventing them from wasting time in IoT academic projects. So the checklist is based on an adopted taxonomy of problems in IoT systems. And the methodology, this study analyzed problems identified in 48 projects carried out by 183 engineering students registered in 2 courses in 2020 and 2021. For designing the structured checklist, we categorized 14 types of IoT problems, analyzed root causes and solutions, and created and evaluated a taxonomy of problems. So based in this abstract, it only shows the introduction, objective, and methodology. So parang if I am the reader, parang gusto ko pa siyang, I mean, it will excite the reader na basahin po yung pinakabuong article kung ano po yung mga possible root causes and solutions in dealing with IoT in the academic projects. So napili ko po siya kasi relating to the laboratory we had during online classes nung nagka-pandemic po is that gumagamit po kami ng mga boards which is connected po sa internet, and students can access that in real time. So this abstract po is composed of 106 words, and I identified this as a descriptive dahil nga po it only shows introduction, objective, and methodology. So the results or major findings are not explicitly mentioned in the abstract. However, it can be inferred that the study likely identified common IoT problems and created a checklist to help students address these issues efficiently. And again, the conclusion of this research is not provided in the abstract. That would be all po. By the way, these are my references. And thank you po for listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Ted, for your presentation. Ano yung ginagawa nila din sa resolution ng problem? Anong tinitignan na procedure? Ano yung tinitignan nila dun sa problem na yan, last paper?
Bali dito po sir, ito po yung mga ang ginamit po nila is quantum walk DNA encoding po and chaos. Bali parang yung images po ay kini-convert po nila into text, and then i-decode po yung pagdating po sa user po.
I think the last paper yata.
Sorry. Ito po ba sir? This is about.
So sino nag-determine teacher? Diyan sa activity-based approach?
Yes sir. Parang meron po mga 40, dito po sa study na to may 48 projects po na ginagawa out from 180 engineering students po, and they are going to study po kung effective po ba yung naka-IoT based po na mga academic projects po.
Okay,
And it will be evaluated po through adaptive taxonomy of problems in IoT systems.
is this challenging or an easy task?
Medyo challenging po siya, sir, kasi marami pong factors na i-consider.
Ayun nga, yun yung point ko. Kung paano kaya nila maano yung validity and reliability of the
Yes, sir.
Yes,
po.
identification ng and resolution ng problem.
Yes, sir. It's a little bit challenging po.
Unless siguro expert na talaga yung parang kung sa akin, you give me a paper and I can review your paper and I can tell which part is not okay or in the needs improvement.
Yes, sir.
Okay, other questions? Okay, kung wala na, then let's move on to the next and palakpakan natin si Ted.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Sige, who's next?
Sir, pwede pong after na lang ako ni Sir Isagani. Medyo may technical problem lang po.
Okay, sige. Isagani.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon po. Nakikita na po yung screen, sir.
Yes, yes.
So for abstract critiquing po, I took some abstract from SCOPUS. Number 1 po is an abstract entitled Improving the Climate Adaptability of Building Green Retrofitting in Different Regions, a Weight Correction System for Chinese National Standards. Most po ng topics na nakita ko ay na tinignan ko ay about sustainable cities. So ito po yung abstract number 1. For the introduction, climate adaptability, including the adaptation to the daily climate, the readiness to face natural calamities, the nurturing of long-term resources and the environment are part of the goal of green building green retrofitting. Setting retrofitting evaluation standards should consider regional diversification due to varying local climate conditions. Yun po yung kanyang introductions. For the objectives, aim, and purpose, based on the entropy method and fuzzy analytical hierarchy process, yung tinatawag po nila na FAHP, this study proposes a weight correction system to correct the weights from China's assessment standard for green retrofitting of existing building. For the methodology, by comparing the corrected weights to the original weights, recommendations for building green retrofitting measures in 7 climate zones were put forward. For the results indicate that priority should be given to the selection of materials and building envelopes, and that site design is the basis for the building climate adaptability. It is imperative that equipment transformation is carried out in a cold area and severe cold area. Comprehensive energy and non-traditional water sources can be used in hot summer and cold winter area, hot summer and warm winter area, and mild area. And for the conclusion and recommendation, our research finding can improve the climate adaptability of building retrofit according to regional characteristics, while circumventing low efficiency measures. Furthermore, we discussed the possibility of extending the proposed weight correction system to other countries' standards. This abstract po, based on its elements, I can consider this as informative abstract.
It has all the elements, and it has all the elements such as introduction, the objective and the purpose, methodology, research or major findings, and conclusions. And the abstract discusses informations about the project. The second abstract is entitled Synergy Between Green Stormwater Infrastructure and Active Mobility, a Comprehensive Literary Review. So for the introduction po, green stormwater infrastructure GSI is increasingly used in urban planning to replace gray infrastructure and achieve socio-environmental benefits. Its design can result in a substantial reallocation of space and thereby contribute to achieve mobility, walking, and cycling, especially when implemented in the right of way. Yet few studies have investigated the relationship between GSI and active mobility. For its methodology, this paper comprehensively reviews 70 scientific articles on GSI and more broadly green infrastructure in the context of active mobility. For the objective or aim or purpose, our primary aim is to assess the potential synergy between GSI and active mobility. And for the results or major findings, while empirical studies on GSI and active mobility are lacking, the review highlights the potential effects of GSI based on their common characteristics with GI. The main potential benefits identified are increasing active travel, enhancing road safety, and improving street aesthetics. The review also addresses car mobility, safety, and aesthetic concerns associated with GSI implementation. Findings demonstrate the complex relationship between GI, GSI, and active mobility, warranting further studies to understand the nuanced effect of different types of infrastructure on active travel. For the conclusions, this study is relevant for researchers and planners seeking insights into GSI specificities to better guide future studies and projects supporting both urban water management and active mobility. So this abstract again is an informative abstract. It is composed of 200 words, and it has all the elements needed for an informative abstract. Another abstract is for a paper entitled Towards the Effect of Climate Change in Structural Loads of Urban Infrastructure, a review. Introduction. Climate change is one of the pressing problems of today's world, with its unequivocal effects. The modern urban infrastructure has also borne the brunt of the devastating impact of changing climate. The increasing number of structural failures under extreme environmental loads has been reported throughout the globe, with the state-of-the-art design and maintenance practices proved to be insufficient under the dynamically changing climate, demanding more resilient design standards and maintenance procedures. For its objective, this review article synthesizes the research findings aimed at building climate-resilient civil infrastructure, considering the design and service space of various structures, the durability of structural components and materials, and adaptation of mitigation practices. For the methodology, the paper performs a systematic literature review of the effects of climate change on various structural loads, including wind, snow, temperature, and multi-hazard, in various urban infrastructures from different regions of the globe. The findings in this review can serve as valuable information to suitably revisit and improve design and maintenance practices, build more climate-resilient urban infrastructure. So this abstract has 162 words, and I consider this as a descriptive abstract because it says that a descriptive abstract does not provide results or conclusions of the research. And as you can see, this abstract doesn't have that don't contain any result. That's why I consider this abstract as descriptive. That's all po, sir. Thank you ba.
Okay, thank you Sagani for your presentation. Alin dyan ang nakapag-ano sa iyong attention among the three, anong pinaka-gusto mo sa tatlong paper, abstract ng paper?
Sir, yung number 3 po. Yan po. Structural loads of urban infrastructure. Medyo interesting po para sa akin, pero hindi ko pa rin po alam kung paano ko sa magagamit, kung paano ko
Patignan nga ulit.
Ayan. Ito po. Ay, naka-stop share pala. Nag-let po, sir. Kaya po, sir.
Pakilakihan. So ano yung mga parameters na titignan ng study?
Climate change, sir.
Yeah, climate change, pero in particular, ano ang pag-aaralan? Performance, durability, ano?
Durability, sir, and performance, especially po during ang pinaka nakikita ko po kasi ngayon na matinding effect or matinding nagdudulot ng climate change ay yun pong flooding. Kasi hindi naman ganun katindi yung flooding before. Ngayon mas matindi na, especially po sa urban sa rural areas. Dati hindi siya nararamdaman sa rural pero even sa ngayon po kahit rural ramdam na yung flooding.
Yeah, pero siguro baka ang ano niyan sa mga engineers ay yung mga sewerage, storm sewer, tsaka mga ano din siguro. Dahil kahit sa mga probinsya ay ano na rin, overcrowding na rin sila. Tapos yung pavement hindi rin impermeable. So ang tendency ay mag-stay yung mga tubig dyan sa pavement or wherever na impermeable. Dahil karamihan ay concrete naman yung nilagay. So perhaps use permeable concrete para pervious concrete para sa ganun ay yung ibang part kapag bumaha man merong mabilis na pagbaba ng tubig, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, other questions? Sige, okay, thank you very much. Isagani, palapakan ulit natin sa Isagani.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay, so who's next?
Sir, ako na po.
Sige, okay.
Share ko lang po. Kita na po ba?
Yeah, okay, you make start.
And po, start ko na po. Ang aking topics po ay about sa agriculture pa rin. At simulan ko na po sa una. Una po ay, ang title po nito ay Precision Land Leveling for Sustainable Rice Production. Case Studies in Cambodia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and India. Ang abstract po na to, ang introduction niya ay Laser Controlled Land Leveling or LLL can help improve rice production, spatial and temporal management, leading to optimize water and crop management. And yung purpose naman po ay this research resulted in sustainable performance indicators to illustrate the LLL is a sustainable technology for rice production. For the methodology po, the assessment was conducted in Cambodia, in the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, and India. As its results, benefits of LLL include saving land use, water, and agronomic inputs, increasing yield, and decreasing post-harvest losses, resulting in saving energy of 3 to 6.9 gigajoules per hectare, and decreasing emission by 1,151 to 1,486 kilogram of carbon dioxide per hectare ulit po. Additionally, LLL application can obtain a net profit of 52 to 84 per hectare na US dollars po for rice production season in the countries studied. And for the conclusion, the result demonstrated the LLL is a sustainable technology as well as strong support sustainable rice production, and the study will lead to better adoption for this technology through its evidence-based promotion. And the number of words po nito ay 127 and it was a informative abstract. For the next po, determinants in adaptation of alternate wetting and drying technique for rice production in a gravity surface irrigation system in the Philippines. Its abstract ay alternate wetting and drying or AWD is well known low-cost water saving and climate change adaptation and mitigation technique for irrigated rice. However, its adoption rate has been low despite the decade of dissemination in Asia, especially in the Philippines. Yun po ang kanyang introduction. And for the purpose, using cross-sectional farm level survey data, this study empirically explored factors shaping AWD adoption in a gravity surface irrigation system. For its methodology, we used regression-based approaches to examine the factors influencing farmers' adoption of AWD and its impact on yield. The result shows the majority of AWD adopters were farmers who practice enforced rational irrigation or RI, scheduling within their irrigators association or IA with the current irrigation management system. The probability of AWD implementation increases when farmers do not interfere with the irrigation schedule. Otherwise, the option to go with flooding. Interestingly, the awareness of factors did not play a significant role in the farmers' adoption due to the RI setup. However, the perception of water management as an effective weed control method was positively significant, suggesting the farmers are likely to adopt AWD if weeds are not a major issue in their field. For the conclusion, furthermore, the impact on grain yields did not differ with AWD. Thus, given the RI scheduling already in place within IA, we recommended fine-tuning the setup following the recommendation save AWD at the IA scale. Ito po ay 214 words at ito rin po ay isang informative abstract. And for the last, optimizing the lateral dripland spacing of drip irrigated aerobic rice to increase water productivity and profitability under the water limited condition. For the introduction of the abstract, the potential use of the drip irrigation to reduce water use without yield penalty in aerobic rice cultivation has not been fully explored in the topics due to the high investment costs. One major way to lowering the cost is by optimizing the lateral spacing to serve more rows of rice plants per drip line. The purpose of the study evaluates the effects of lateral drip line spacing on the grain yields, water productivity, and the economic return in aerobic rice production. Field experiments were conducted for the period of 2 years from 2020 to 2021 using three lateral drip line spacing, which is 40, 60, and 80 centimeters, as treatment of and surface flooding as the control. Grain yields, water use, water productivity, and economic benefits were evaluated. That was the methodology, and for the result, the drip irrigated aerobic rice did not show a significant difference with the surface flooding except for a low yield at 80 centimeters in 2021 dry season due to its low percent filled grains. Among treatments, the 60 centimeters lateral spacing consistently obtained the highest irrigation water productivity by up to 1.03 kilograms cubic meter and 40% irrigation water savings related to surface flooding. Increasing the space of the lateral drip line decreased the material cost. 80 is less than 60 and less than 40 centimeters by 10 to 36%. The 60 centimeter spacing produced the highest average net income by 41 to 75% among the drip treatments and had comparative economic returns compared with the surface flooding. And for the conclusion, the net present values and the benefit cost ratio indicated that it is economically viable to invest in drip irrigation using a 60 centimeter lateral spacing. Thus, this study suggests that when the insufficient water to grow surface flooding aerobic rice, drip irrigation using 60 centimeter lateral spacing is the best option for reducing irrigation water use and increasing water productivity while having a comparative yield and economic return as the surface flooding method of aerobic rice cultivation. And for my reference, number of words po pala to ay 289 and informative abstract. And for my reference po, ito po ay nanggaling sa SCOPUS and yung article po ay nakuha ko sa ResearchGate ng mga agricultures po. Yun lang po.
Ano, yes.
Yes, sir.
Anong program ka?
MSEE po. Major in Electronics Engineering.
Okay. So, wala naman tayong ano, no? Water resources pa, ano? Program?
Wala po.
Okay. So, alin dyan ang ano, alin, yung pangatlong paper, ano yung ano niya? Yung pinaka competitive advantage ng article na yun? Bakit napili mo siya?
Dito po sa pangatlo po na using aerobic rice in drip irrigated po. Maganda po kasi yung sinasabi sa abstract pa lang na from their experiment na spacing po nung pag-drops nung water using irrigation, drip irrigation. Sinasabi na po niya na agad na maganda po yung yield after ng paggamit ng 60 centimeter spacing.
Ano bang ano niyo dyan? Water management ba? Or...
Yes, water management, sir.
So, ang sinasabi niyo dyan ay maganda pa rin yung yield kahit na ano, yung mga
Kahit
distance.
na po, sa distance po na 60 centimeters, same lang din po siya sa flooded po, yung nakikita po natin na pangaraniwal na practice po. Same lang po siya ng yield.
So, mas na-manage na mahusay yung tubig kasi yung tubig na iba ay pumupunta na sa ano to percolate or nag-ano na sa ano hindi na nagagamit ng maayos.
Yes po, natatapon lang din po.
Natatapon lang, oh. So, yan.
Yes, sir.
Iyan ba ay ano-anong ano niya? So drip irrigation or gravity type?
Drip irrigation po.
So,
Gravity type po siya, yung merong water tank sa medyo mataas din. Pero drip irrigated po. Hindi po siya
so
gumagamit ng
meron,
pressure.
so ibig sabihin may pipe.
Yes po, may mga hose po.
Okay, okay. Sige. Any question to Bien? So, do you think applicable naman to sa Philippines? Okay naman?
Yes sir, ginagamit na po siya sa mga areas na kung saan talagang hirap po yung water supply po.
Tulad
Medyo-
ng Tagaytay siguro.
Saan po ba? Meron po kasing practice na ginamit dun sa field rice po. Ito po.
Ina-adapt nyo na ba to? May mga ganito ba kayong mga projects sa Phil Rice?
This incoming December po sa taniman, maglalagay po kami ng isang plot ng drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation po.
So, anong gusto nyong patunayan?
As I continue study po dito sa study na to, para po meron pong supporting po na documents po para dito.
Okay, sige. Kasi ako rin nangihinayang dun sa gravity type na overflowing yung water na di ba? Kasi merong prediction na in 50 years ang tubig ay magiging scarce and therefore yung mga water drone underground ay dapat na sinupin para hindi siya madaling maubos.
Yes, sir. Saka po, maganda rin po siyang solution during El Nino.
Yeah. Or siguro, I don't know, mas better kung merong rainwater harvesting system, merong cistern na paglalagyan ng mga tubig.
Yes, sir. Ako. Para hindi na rin kailangan pong kumuha sa natural. Galing na po sa ulan.
Yeah, galing sa ulan. And siguro konting treatment process kung kailangan. Kaso kung pagdilig lang naman, I'm not sure kung meron siyang effect ba sa mga plants or meron ba siyang effect sa health kung I don't know.
Kung galing po sa rain, no? Hindi ko rin po sure, sir.
Wala naman siguro. No? Kasi nga yung acid rain, yan ang problema natin. A lot of in the atmosphere at kapag umulan, tatangay, then napupunta kung saan. So yun yung isa sa mga issue, nagiging acidic ang lupa o nasisira siya.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyway, sige. Thank you very much, Bien. Palakpakan ulit natin si Bien, no?
Yes, sir. Ako na po next, sir.
Okay, sige, please.
Kita na po ba, sir?
Yes.
Allow me to present po today. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, classmates. Abstract critiquing by yours truly. For my topics po, number 1 is dual axis solar tracking system, efficiency for hydroponics pump, design and implementation of IoT-based monitoring battery and solar panel temperature in hydroponic system. And the third one is aquaponic system powered by solar energy. So nag-focus lang po ako sa topic ko last presentation po natin, which is yung agrivoltaics. For the first, dual axis solar tracking system, efficiency for hydroponics pump. So nagfo-focus po ito sa electrical side po ng proposed prototype ko po in the future. So nagfo-focus po siya dun sa may solar panels mismo. So its abstract is, for the introduction, the advancement of solar power technology is considered one of many choices. Gumagalaw po ba, sir? Advancement of solar power technology is considered one of many choices for meeting the increasing demand for energy worldwide. Solar energy is radiant light and use of heat from the sun using technology such as photovoltaic technology, which involves the use of semiconductors to directly convert sunlight into electrical energy, has become a highly desirable choice. Next one is the objective. The electrical energy generated by a device for generating photovoltaic power can be used for a wide range of applications. A solar tracking system is the most appropriate technology for enhancing the solar cell's performance by tracking the sun. So, ang principle po nito is para po siyang sunflower, which kung nasan po yung most light from the sun, dun po nakatuon po yung solar panels. So for the methodology, solar cell with a capacity of 50 watt peak solar and battery of 7 ampere hour. Tests conducted for 5 days, each day of tests starting from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and using 4 light-dependent resistor. Sensor to track the sun by calculating the highest intensity. Experimental results show that for the results, experimental results show that the intensity-based dual axis tracking system improves the overall efficiency. So it contains 153 words, and I believe po this is an informative abstract. My second abstract for the design and implementation of IoT-based monitoring battery and solar panel temperature in hydroponic system. For the introduction, hydroponics is currently widely used for the effectiveness of farming in narrow areas and increasing the supply of food, especially vegetables. This hydroponic technology grew until it collaborated with the Internet of Things technology, allowing users to monitor hydroponic conditions such as temperature and humidity in the surrounding environment. This technology requires electronic systems to obtain cost-effective power coverage and have independent charging systems, such as power systems using solar panels, where the power received by solar panels from the sun is stored in batteries. It must ensure that the condition of the battery and solar panels are in good condition. So the objective of the research contribution is to create a solar panel temperature monitoring system and a battery power using Grafana and Android application. Methodology. Apart from the several studies, solar panels are greatly affected by temperature, which can cause damage to the panels. If the temperature is too high, the battery and panel temperature monitoring system can help monitor the condition of the device at Grafana and Android application with sensor data such as voltage, current, temperature, and humidity that have been tested for accuracy. Accuracy test by comparing AM2302 sensor with a thermohygrometer and INA219 sensor with a multimeter and clamp meter, both of which have been calibrated. Its result shows that the sensor data gets good accuracy results up to 98%, and the quality of service, or the QoS value of the Internet of Things network, is categorized as both to inform the ITU G.1010 quality of service data based on network readings on the Wireshark application. Quality of service results are 0% packet loss with a very good category, 14 millisecond delay with a very good category, and throughput of 71.85 bytes per second. With the results of sensor accuracy, quality of service, and the system can be relied upon with a high level of sensor accuracy so that the environmental conditions are monitored accurately, and good quality of service values so the data transmission to the server runs smoothly. So ito pong journal na ito ay nakatuon pa rin po sa electrical side ng panels, which is used po for monitoring of the electrical devices on the temperature side po ng solar panel for the efficiency. So ito po yung kanyang monitoring system. It contains 300 words, and I believe po this is an informative abstract. Lastly, automation system of hydroponic using smart solar power plant unit. So this study po concerns an automation of solar power plant with hydroponics. Introduction. Automation system. Hydroponic is one of the farming solutions. There are several problems in hydroponic that can be divided into two parts. First part is the hydroponic system. The system needs to control and monitor the temperature, pH, and distribution of water. Second part is the power supply. Generally, it runs from the conventional electrical energy, and it should continue to run all the time. Electrical energy need is increasing from time to time. For the objective, in this research, there are two possible solutions to solve the problem. The first possible solution is the automation for hydroponic system that would measure the control temperature, pH, and water level in the water tank. The second possible solution is the smart solar power plant unit, which function as primary power supply and will shift to conventional electrical energy if there is no adequate energy to run on the automation of the hydroponic system. For the methodology, the smart solar power plant unit monitor the intensity of light, voltage, and electrical current between the battery and DC to AC converter, and the voltage that produced from solar panel, the value of temperature, pH, and water level in the tank. Intensity of light, electrical current, and voltage will be sent to a server by a wireless communication. Results show. The result of this research is a prototype of automation system, hydroponic, using a smart solar power plant that can monitor and control pH temperature, water level, intensity of light, electrical current, and voltage. So this is much of a study for, again, monitoring or the communication device used for the smart solar power plant and the hydroponic setup. So it contains 233 words, and I believe po this is an informative abstract. So these are my references, sir, classmates. Thank you po. That ends my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Romy. Ang presentation mo ay all about photovoltaic, technology.
Come again, sir.
All your topics are focused on photovoltaic, right? Technology.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, considering the 3 papers that you have read, ano pa ang gap? Ano pa ang pwedeng gawin? Kaya,
Sir, I think, sir, I should make a design po that is suitable po for home use, because these journals po,
hydroponics, no?
yes po, hindi po sila na-form as isang unit po. Bali, hiwalay po yung solar sa hydroponics. So,
Yes.
ginamit lang po nila yung solar panels as a way to utilize power.
Energy.
Pero hindi po nila pinagsama sa isang project. I mean, hindi po nila incorporate lahat sa isang para hindi na masyadong yun po, sir. So I think the way to improve these researches po is to put them all together to form po a better prototype or a usable prototype po that can be used for household po.
Pero what's new with the technology, considering that many people are now using this technology for energy generation in different households?
Doon po sa second na research ko, sir, may raise po siya na problem na wala pong early warning system for the battery na masyado na mababa, and then the overheating of the panel. Kasi po pag nag-overheat po yung mga solar panels, is bumababa po yung efficiency.
Yung temperature, sinabi niya.
Yes po sir. The higher the temperature po, bumababa po yung efficiency ng mga solar panels. So I think po sir, para po mas maging efficient po yung gagawing prototype is magkaroon din po ng, bukod po sa monitoring ng hydroponics lang, is yung temperature din po ng area at saka ng panels is ma-incorporate din po dun sa research.
So gagawa ka ng cooler, ganun ba?
Dito po sir is ano po, parang ano lang, sensors po.
Yeah, even if you have the sensors of what if you sense that the temperature is increasing, then what appropriate solution will you do to control the temperature? So automatic
That-
na magbubukas yung fan,
That is
ganyan?
a good question sir. I think I should study more on that. I think an exhaust siguro, exhaust. Yes po. I'll study more on that sir, on that side.
Yeah, ano lang, thinking aloud. Ano pa ba pwedeng gawin, no? So you mentioned that the photovoltaic can also mimic the sunflower na paano kaya yung tracking system niya na smooth yung kanyang pag-rotate or di ba?
Yes po, na hindi po maapektuhan yung mga sa baba ng plants po.
Sir, pwedeng magtanong po?
Sige.
Sir, ano yung relation ng solar doon sa hydroponics po? Anong pinapagana niya, sir?
Bali po sa hydroponics, sir, meron po siyang irrigation system na maliit. So, from time to time po, nilalabas po nung parang irrigation system na yun, yung nutrients po kasi wala pong soil po dito sa hydroponics. So, every buga niya po.
Anong system po? Irrigation? Sabi mo?
Opo, maliit po na irrigation. I don't know the correct term, pero sa mga researches ko, parang irrigation system po siya na maliit. Taga-bomba po ng nutrients papunta
nagbobomba ng nutrients?
Yes.
Baka mist, no?
In a form of mist po? Kasi yung hydroponics po, bali walang soil, pero may solution eh. May solution.
Yeah.
Nakatimpla.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, I just want to understand kung ano yung papel ng solar panels natin. Like, kasi doon sa hydroponics, ang meron doon, to power the hydroponic system, may mga pump. Kasi dapat mag-circulate yung mga solution. Kaya tinatanong ko po anong pinapagana ng solar panel doon sa hydroponics na diniscuss niyo.
Okay, sir.
I mean kung nasa papel po hindi naman sa
Okay. Yes po. Sa ano po kasi nila, iba-iba din po yung contents. Meron pong bukod dun po sa sinabi niyo ng mga pumps. Meron po nagde-depend sa light at meron din po nagde-depend sa LED na for the sunlight po So iba-iba din po ng design po sa hydroponics.
I think sa light, if I may share with you, kasi normally sila, di ba? May ginagamit silang type of plastic. Normally sa nursery yan sa greenhouse, may plastic silang ginagamit para hindi naman ganun kalaki yung effect ng sun rays tsaka sunlight. And then yung sinabi mo kanina na how to control yung humidity or yung mga temperature, na nakita ko may isang greenhouse na merong bumubukas, no? Kumbaga pag na-sense na sobrang init, meron siyang parang mechanism to open para siguro lumabas yung init gano'n. So na-share ko lang, baka related sa study na nabasa mo.
Yes sir, I'll add up that. I'll add up po yung mga narinig ko po ngayon for better understanding po.
Okay, thank you. Yun lang po.
Siguro for future projects na gagawin, no? For future research works na gagawin in the future, pwedeng i-incorporate yung mga comments and suggestions, and siguro I think yung battery ang critical dito. Kasi kapag yan, sira naman na, di ba? Hindi na rin mag-function. So, that would make it costly, di ba? At yun nga, dahil overflowing na yung yung energy na pwedeng i-store sa isang battery, then dapat meron kang iba pang pwedeng paglagyan para hindi masayang. Okay,
Noted,
sige.
sir.
Thank you, Romeo. Palakpakan natin ulit si Romeo. Maraming salamat. Okay, other,
Pwede na pong mag-present, sir? O
Sige,
may
sige.
mag-present pang iba?
Okay.
Ako po sana, sir.
Sige po. Pagkatapos.
Okay po, sir. Thank you. Visible na po.
Yes.
Okay po. Good afternoon po again, everyone. So, ito po yung aking presentation para sa abstract critiquing. Meron po akong tatlong topics na napili. Lahat po ay na-source sa Scopus. Tatlo po siya. So, una is composite structures, bending performance and failure mechanisms of hybrid regular sandwich composite structures with 3D printed corrugated cores. Second is water research, a simple and rapid method for detecting fecal pollution in urban rivers by measuring the intrinsic beta D glucuronidase activity of Escherichia coli, and construction and building materials, methods for the modeling of concrete mesostructures, a critical review. So, yung una ko pong abstract is yung building performance and failure mechanisms of hybrid and regular sandwich composite structures with 3D printed corrugated cores. So, ang introduction po niya is the effect of the core geometry and hybridization on the bending performance and failure mechanisms of carbon fiber reinforced polymers, CFRPs, and glass fiber reinforced polymers, GFRPs, corrugated sandwich composite structures, or SCS, were experimentally investigated using a 3-point bed test. So yung introduction po niya is short and straight to the point na po kung ano yung target niya na gawin, and then yung mga items or yung mga gusto niyang gamitin na materials. And objective 2 niya, the CFRP and GFRP corrugated cores and face sheets were produced using fused filament fabrication and vacuum-assisted infusion processes respectively. So, yun nga po, ang goal po niya or yung aim niya is mag-produce using the process ng fused filament fabrication and vacuum-assisted infusion process. So, straight to the point din po and malinis. Methodology niya, 3 types of corrugated CSCS were built. CSCS with different core geometry, circular, square, trapezoidal, sinusoidal, and triangular. Hybrid SCS with different CFRP and GFRP cores and face sheets, and fully 3D printed CFRP and GFRP SCS. The corrugated SCS with square core geometry outperformed due to the presence of vertical walls and large bonding area. The hybrid SCS with CFRP core showed a significant load drop due to shear failure in the 3D printed core caused by weak interlayer bonding. In contrast, the hybrid CSC with the GFRP core formed plastically and absorbed more energy without failure due to strong interlayer bonding. In fully 3D printed SCS, the GFRP specimen failed catastrophically due to higher bending stress at the bottom of the face sheets, while the CFRP undergoes plastic deformation without failure. So yung results naman po natin, the results elucidate that the hybrid corrugated CSC with the GFRP tough face sheet and 3D printed core is an appropriate configuration for superior bending performance. The proposed 3D printed SCS enables optimizing complex shapes and material distribution in the core, resulting in improved strength to weight ratios. This finding will make an important contribution into the design and development of fiber-reinforced 3D printed SCS for lightweight and high performance applications. So base po dito sa abstract na ito at ang pagkaka-appreciate ko din, I treat it as an informative abstract since pinapakita po niya or dinidescribe niya yung content ng paper with the number of words of 253. Ang next ko naman po na abstract is a simple and rapid method for detecting fecal pollution in urban rivers by measuring the intrinsic beta D glucuronidase activity in the Escherichia coli. Ang introduction naman po niya, as urban rivers or domestic, industrial, and agricultural water resources, fecal pollution poses human health and environmental risk. Ang objective naman po niya, in this study, we developed a simple and rapid method to detect fecal pollution in urban rivers. Methodology, water samples were mixed with liquid medium, including a fluorescent substrate, and fluorescence intensity, or FI, was measured using a microplate reader to determine E. coli with beta D glucuronidase or GUS activity instead of E. coli concentration. GUS activities measurement in pure E. coli cultures revealed that E. coli incubated with a GUS substrate accumulated GUS enzymes in their cells, whereas those incubated without a GUS substrate did not. The increase in GUS activity corresponded to the proliferation of E. coli, and the GUS activity increased linearly even though the lag growth phase of E. coli, indicating the presence of intrinsic GUS, IGUS in E. coli cells before incubation. IGUS activity persisted at 81% in the chlorinated samples, even though the E. coli concentration was reduced by a factor of 106. The IGUS activity persisted approximately 3 days. Ang results naman po niya, therefore, we assume that E. coli present in fecal contaminants in which GUS substrates are present could be distinguished from those surviving in the natural environment for 3 days or longer by measuring IGUS activities. River and water samples were collected upstream and downstream of the discharge outlet of municipal water treatment plants and combined sewer outlet. The IGUS activities were less than 0.24 mNFU per milliliter for the upstream samples and greater than 0.21 NFFU milliliter for the downstream sample. Interestingly, E. coli concentrations were not necessarily associated with fecal pollution. And in conclusion, this indicates that by setting a threshold for IGUS activity, our method can be used as a simple and rapid method for detecting fecal pollution in urban rivers, because the limit of detection for our method is 20 CFU per milliliter. Our method is applicable to detecting high fecal pollution in a small river. And finally po, tinitreat ko siya as informative since it's discussed yung contents ng paper, yung mga terms din po na makikita doon sa journal, na-indicate na rin po dito. And then yung methods and then yung mga results and findings nila and the conclusion ng journal na nire-represent nito with a number of words of 310. Lastly, methods for the modeling of concrete mesostructures, a critical review. Numerical modeling of mesoscale is a time and cost-efficient tool to optimize concrete mix and design to analyze the phenological causes of mechanical failure, e.g. when developing noble concrete with unconventional materials. An objective naman po niya is to create a successful mesoscale model strongly depends on a compromise between a realistic and an efficient representation of the mesoscale phases of concrete, coarse aggregates, mortar mix, and interfacial transition zone. Bali yung interfacial transition zone, ito yung zone or yung area between concrete and then yung kanyang composite materials, either yun nga po aggregates or yung steel reinforcements niya. Methodology, different approaches to achieve this goal has been developed. This paper identifies relevant parameters that are needed for general geometric modeling, including geometric properties of aggregates, shape, grading, volumetric fraction, and intrinsic phenomena of mesostructure of concrete. The ITC, wall effects, and aggregate settlement, as well as model size and boundary. Methods to integrate these parameters into modeling are presented. So, ang major findings nila, nagkaroon sila ng 4 na processes. The main topics of the paper are 1, methods to modeling aggregates geometry, either by parametric equations or by image analysis reconstruction. 2nd, critical review and evaluation of strategies to construct the mesostructure regarding convenience and realistic modeling. 3rd, methods related to random aggregate modeling and respective strategies to implement overlapping detection algorithms to be used during the random placement of aggregates. Evaluation of methods that deal with the modeling of the ITC, voids, and fibers. And finally, the conclusion states na nga po, The paper also argues that certain options of structural models are not yet experimentally validated. So yung mga pinopropose po nila methodologies or yung mga results na findings nila is hindi pa nagkakaroon ng conclusion or ongoing pa rin sila sa pag-generate ng proper methods to model the concrete mesostructures ng material. And lastly, ito naman po yung mga reference ko para sa mga abstracts na napili ko. Thank you.
Yung unang paper na anong material to?
Ano po siya, sir? Usually carbon fiber po, sir.
Carbon fiber.
Yes po, sir. Ginagamit na rin po kasi siya alam naman po natin yun na nauuso na yung 3D printing. Isa siyang ang pinopropose po kasi nung first abstract ko is pag-implement ng 3D printing or industrialize natin yung method ng 3D printing to fabricate ng mga composite materials to substitute sa mga common materials na ginagamit sa construction like rebar, yung mga composite materials, to substitute steel. Alam naman po natin na habang lumalaki ang isang structure, bumibigat din. So, habang dinidevelop nila yung materials na ito, ibig sabihin, gumaganda yung strength to weight ratio niya. Habang gumagaan siya, tumataas naman yung strength performance niya, which is crucial pagdating po sa pagtatayo ng malalaking structures. Madalas pong issue pag nagtatayo tayo ng malalaking structures is yung weight mismo ng structures. Habang tumataas siya, bumibigat siya. So kung ma-develop pa further itong technology nito, ibig sabihin we can build higher or longer structures without hindi natin masyadong inintindi yung problem sa weight.
Okay, so kung i-model yan, no? Kailangan ng simulation ba?
Yes, sir. Since usually naman po pwede naman siya mag-generate, mag-sample ng 3D printing, let's say rebar.
ANSYS ba ginagamit nila or para
po
dun
yun,
sa yung mga properties tong
yes, sir. Bali, pumipili lang po sila nung material. Common is carbon fiber.
Yeah, okay. Tapos yung last paper na present ay kasi yung isa ay more on E. coli bacteria, no?
Yes, sir.
Ito. Ayan, yung E. coli bacteria. Ito yung about mesostructure.
Okay po, sir.
When you say mesostructure, anong nito?
Bali, mesostructure is more on, mag-focus po tayo dun sa term na meso, which is interface more or less ang meaning. So, ibig sabihin yung in-between, sir, nung transformation ni concrete from the liquid state to the final state niya, yung hardening niya. So, ang pinafocus nung nito is yung paano ba natin i-optimize or ma-realize na from the creation of the concrete, since ang focus nito, sir, is yung mga paggamit ng concrete or paghahalo ng mga unconventional materials sa concrete. Let's say, kagamit tayo ng fire ash, ng glass, to substitute ng mga common na ginagamit natin. More on parang papasok dito yung green design. So, para makita natin or mas mabilis nating ma-realize or malaman if yung pagsasubstitute natin ng ganitong material is makaka-affect ba ng positively or negatively dun sa final form ng concrete. Dinevelop nila, sir, yung method na to or nagtatry sila mag-develop ng method para mas madali nila makita yung modeling na nila.
Actually, yung isa kong kaibigan na Thai ang nationality ay ganyan rin kanyang study, no? Yung determination of the interfacial transition zone between good and bad poor quality aggregates, kung paano. Pero ang kanya kasi is more on minute properties naman. So yun, it's about the minute properties, studying about the thickness of the interfacial transition zone between the aggregate and the base matrix, no? So, imagine mo na lang na yung kamay mo, kunyari yan, yan yung bato, yung aggregate. And then yung kumapit naman dyan, yan yung paste, di ba?
Yes,
So
sir, tama po.
tinitignan nila yung in-between kasi ang issue dito is about the use of too much water in concrete that results to bleeding in concrete and therefore merong segregation na nangyayari. Lalo kung ang over ang vibration na ginagawa. So may tendency na magkaroon ng formation of bubbles and therefore makaka-apekto doon sa strength ng concrete. Yun yung ito tungkol dito sa mesostructure na ito na sinasabi. No?
Yes
And
po, sir,
hindi
tama
lang
po.
yon, even the interaction then between the cement paste and the bond between the steel bar. Tinitignan din nila yun. Kinakat nila yan eh. Kinakat
Yes, sir.
yan into and then tinitignan talaga yung kasi magkakaroon ng parang linya. Kung gaano kakapal yung linya na yon, o ibig sabihin, yan kasi ang yan kasi ang kumbaga tinatawag nilang weakest link. Kapag masyadong makapal yon, ibig sabihin may nangyaring segregation or bleeding kaya kapag nag-harden yung concrete, maiiwan ngayon yung mga porous part, di ba?
Tama po, sir. Yun din po yung isang din nung abstract na to is yun nga din. Yung nabanggit nyo na yung cohesiveness ng mga composite materials
Yes.
within the concrete, and then yung mga more on focus nito is yung pagsa-substitute kung magiging similar
Yes.
pa din ba ang
I think
effect.
mahalaga yun. Kaya yung hindi lang kasi hindi ka lang kasi magte-test ng compressive testing ng mga cylindrical specimens, ng mga pero ito tinitingnan micro analysis, microstructure analysis kasi critical din yan sa pag-flow ng water or ng pag-diffuse ng aggressive substances in concrete, or pwede rin yung calcium leaching na tinatawag. Kapag yan ay very porous, ang tendency ay mas magiging weak yung ating concrete. But if it is dense, then it will be stronger and better and durable.
Tama po, sir.
Yeah. So magandang yan, magandang paper yan, especially kung ang mo ay about sa minute properties ng concrete with different substitutions ng mga materials and how
Yes
it
po, sir.
reacts. Okay. Sige. So thank you very much, Joseph, for your presentation. Palakpakan natin si
Thank you
Joseph.
po, sir.
Okay. So meron pa ba? May natira pa? Last?
Meron pa po, sir.
Sige. Okay. Sige. Mr.
Laso po.
Ikaw na yung last, no?
Laso po, sir. Tsaka si Sir Ino pa yata po.
Ganun ba?
Ako
Sige,
po.
sige.
Sige, sir. Sir, last ikaw.
Sige po, sir. Ako po muna. Kita na po ba, sir?
Yes, sige.
Okay po. Good afternoon po, Doc and classmates. I am Engineer Lester Lasso, taking Master of Civil Engineering under the specialization of Structural Engineering. Today po, I'll be presenting 3 abstracts which I read from SCOPUS website that capture my interest. For my first abstract po, this is regarding the progressive collapse resistance of reinforced concrete frames subjective to localized fire by the following researchers. Ito po yan yung researcher niya. The researchers introduced first about the possible progressive collapse of a building structure caused by a fire, followed by the objective aims and purpose of the research. They mentioned that the behavior of fire-exposed RC frames elements to resist progressive collapse are still unclear, and therefore they aims to perform a numerical study on the reinforced concrete assembly based on the sequential thermal mechanical coupling method is conducted. Next po, yung methodology naman niya, the researchers stated that pair effects on the failure mode, load resistance capacity, and evolution of load resistance mechanism of the RC frames are captured. For the results and discussion naman po, the researcher shows that the compressive arc action and catenary action can develop in sequence for the specimens exposed to fire within a short fire duration of 30 minutes. They also mentioned that the failure of the specimen is controlled by the fracture of beams rebars near the removed column. However, when the fire duration exceeds 60 minutes, the specimen is difficult to develop effective catenary action due to a decrease of over 80% in the tensile strength of the bottom reinforcement. The failure of the specimen is dominated by the fracture of the rebar at the cut-off point of the beam top bar. Fire lasting for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, and 120 minutes results in decrease of 41%, 72%, 77%, and 78% in ultimate load respectively. Lastly naman po, for the conclusion, stated that increasing the span depth ratio can upgrade the deformation capacity of the specimen, but it is adverse or preventing to develop the compressive arc action. The effect of reinforcement ratio on the failure mode, the ultimate load, and deformation capacity are mild as the fire exposure duration increases. For this abstract po, it contains 239 words, and I think this is an informative abstract. For the second topic naman po, it is about seismic damage analysis due to the near fault multi-pulse ground motion by the following researcher. For its introduction po, near fault pulse-like ground motion is a significant class of seismic record since it tends to cause more severe damage to structure than ordinary ground motion. However, previous researchers mainly focus on single pulse ground motions. The multi-pulse ground motions that exist in record receive rare attention. Followed by objectives, aim, and purpose of the research, the researcher mentioned that in this study, an analysis procedure is proposed to investigate the effects of multi-pulse ground motion on structure by integrating finite element analysis and an identification method that features each pulse in the multi-pulse ground motion, satisfying the same evaluation criteria. Followed by methodology, the area's intensity wavelength-based cumulative energy distribution and response spectra of identified non-single and multi-pulse ground motion are compared. Then, the seismic damage on frame structure, a soil slope, and a concrete dam under non-single and multi-pulse ground motion are analyzed. For the result and discussion naman po, result shows that the spectral velocity of multi-pulse ground motions is significantly greater than those of non and single pulse ground motions and potentially contains multi-peaks in the long period range. The researchers also mentioned that seismic damage evaluations indicates that multi-pulse ground motion is about twice that of non-pulse ground motions. Similar characteristics also exist in the soil slope and the concrete dam. Therefore, multi-pulse ground motion potentially caused more severe damage to structure compared to non and single pulse ground motion. For its conclusion of this research, the findings of this study facilitate the recognition of the increased seismic demand imposed by the multi-pulse ground motion in engineering practices, provide new possibilities for ground motions selection in seismic design validation, and shed new light of seismic hazard and risk analysis in near fault region. All in all po, this is contains of 264 words. I think this is an informative abstract also. For the last topic naman po, it is about experimental evaluation of locally pre-stressed concrete wall under repeated loading histories, seismic performance, and repairability by the following researcher. First, the researcher introduced that seismic damage and residual deformation of building usually lead to high repair costs and business downtime. For its objectives, aims of or purpose of this research, they want to develop more repairable structure. The locally pre-stressed precast concrete wall or LPPW has been proposed, which allows the post-tension tendons and dissipators to be easily replaced. Going to the methodology, based on this, they conducted quasi-static tests on the LPPW to investigate the influence of the height of the upper anchorage points of the post-tension tendons and to evaluate the seismic performance of the LPPW under repeated loading and post-repairing loading. Next, for the result and discussion, the test result shows that the decrease in anchorage height of the PT tendons increased the post-yield stiffness and pre-stress losses of the LPPW. The seismic performance of LPPW was retained well under repeated loading in terms of bearing capacity, energy dissipating capacity, and self-centering capacity. They also mentioned that the post-repair LPPW restored most of the original seismic performance, validating the excellence repairability of LPPW. Moreover, a parametric analysis was conducted using the numerical mode validated through the experimental result. Lastly, for the conclusion, it was revealed that the drift ratio corresponding to the yield of the PT tendons decreased with a lower anchorage point height, increasing the axial compression ratio, enhanced the bearing capacity, and reduced the drift ratio of the ultimate state of the LPPW, enlarging the cross-sectional area of dissipators, positively affected the bearing capacity, energy dissipation, and shear weight ratio of the LPPW. In this abstract, it is 222 words, and I think this is also an informative abstract. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lester. So, yung wall na yun na tinest nila, no? Ano kayang ano nila dito? Sa precast concrete wall, no?
Yes po, sir.
Wala naman nakalagay kung ilang beses nila inano to, subject for ano?
Wala, sir. Hindi
Repeated
po,
loading lang.
Repeated loading naman po, hindi lang nila in-specify kung ilang beses po.
Okay. Kaya kasi kulang tayo ng mga research on this kasi yung sa setup, no? Kung ano saan ang weakest point in case na sinubject siya sa compression, flexure, etc.
Yes, sir.
Pero anong take mo dyan sa paper na yan? What can you,
ang interesado sir ako dito sa third experiment since it is related to seismic performance and repairability.
Yeah, medyo madugo rin ang setup niya, no?
Oo, sir. Tsaka kung ma-apply ito sa Philippines, mas I think makakatipid when it comes to repairability, sir.
Yan nga eh. Sige. What about the second paper?
Ganun din, sir, regarding sa seismic.
Yeah, sa seismic ano na to, yung mga ikinakabit ngayon na technology, yung structural health monitoring system para para ma-determine kung ano ang movement at ano ang behavior ng structure pag nagkaroon ng mga earthquake, so naka-record siya, di ba?
Yes, sir. May ganun din naman po na ng mga instrument na most likely nakalagay po sa mga highest building.
Yeah. Para malaman yung kanyang behavior, no?
Yes, sir.
And ito, saan siya mas applicable, no? So near fault, sabi niya, multi-pulse ground motion. So nagsa-simulate ba sila ng behavior? Ano ba to? Simulation, computer simulation ba to or actual experiments?
I think, sir, it is a simulation. Hindi ko pa, sir, gaano nababasa yung Hindi ko pa nabuklat yung actually yung journal. Yung abstract lang po yung tininan ko.
Okay, sige. Okay, any question? May tanong ba kay Lester? Okay, kung wala, palakpakan natin si Lester sa kanyang presentation. Okay.
Thank you po, thank you.
It's already 5:03. Meron pa bang magpipresent? Ilan pa ba?
Meron pa sir, kaya lang time na po sir eh. Paano ba to?
Ikaw na lang ba? O meron pa? How many more? 2? Meron pa. Jason. Sige, so we will continue na lang next week kasi masyadong na.
Next time na lang, next week na lang po sir.
But we have another activity, no? So you will be the first to
Apo, it's
present
journal
next
po.
week and we'll have the journal critiquing, no? So pwedeng magamit nyo yung yung mga paper na binasa nyo. So full paper. Dun sa assignment, 3, no? 3 ang i-critic nyo na paper, pero sa presentation, isa lang ang i-present. Okay ba?
Sige po.
Yeah, yung dalawa, na yun. So pipili na lang kayo ng isa dun sa 3 nagagawa nyo ng critic using the guide that I have sent you. And you prepare a PowerPoint presentation about your critic on the paper. No, ang purpose ng journal critiquing na yan ay para mas mamulat kayo na ano yung mga kailangan, ano yung mga pointers, no, na kailangan kong tingnan kapag ako ay magpo-propose ng isang study. So since itong mga journal na babasahin nyo ay tapos na yan, then at least you can get an idea on what are the pointers you need to consider, especially when you are writing an article, and in terms of how you're going to prepare the title, how you're going to prepare the abstract, how you're going to prepare the introduction, paano yung readings na ginagawa, paano ipinipresent ng maayos yung kanyang methodology, and paano yung results and discussion, paano ang mga figures, paano ang mga tables, paano ang mga equations, anong itsura dapat. So, yan yung activity natin na susunod na gusto kong matutunan ninyo ng by heart kasi magiging yan, no? Magiging useful yan sa inyong pag-conceptualize ng proposed titles nyo. And I suggest that please start working on your proposed titles. You have to scout for a possible topic. And how are you going to do that? Siyempre, ang unang gagawin ay magbasa ng mga related literatures and check the title of the authors dun sa references at tingnan nyo kung ano ang mga research labs at ano pa yung mga recommendations nila na pwede ninyong i-consider sa inyong ipopropose na mga topic or mga project. Okay? Sige. So, may tanong ba? May clarification? Yes, Jomar?
Doc, na-scan ko po kasi yung sinend nyo po. Pipili lang po kami ng approach sa approach 1 or approach 2 po. Ano po, Doc?
What do you mean by approach one approach?
Doon po sa critiquing po nung journal. May
Actually,
nakalagay po
pareho
sa
lang.
tool.
Actually, pareho lang naman yun.
Okay po daw. Thank you po.
Generally, pareho lang naman yun. So, you can choose any of the two. So, whichever is applicable to your article, journal article na nabasa. Okay? Sige. Okay, magpicturean na tayo para ano. Okay. Okay, sige. Smile. Eliza, ano yung ano mo? Taas mo ng konti. Yan, yan. Okay, sige. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Titingnan natin.